Live streaming is on.
Hi everyone, welcome to SEGI V-Day webinar. My name is Nash and I'm from SEGI University Kota Damansara. I will be your host for today. Today we'll be having a very special guest with us, Dr. Chai Jenwai from the Faculty of Medicine, SEGI University Kota Damansara. He is currently a senior lecturer in biochemistry and holding the position of Head of Development, Students and Alumni at the Faculty of Medicine, SEGI University. He graduated from University of Malaya in 2001 with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry and subsequently obtained his postgraduate doctorate degree from the Faculty of Medicine, also in University of Malaya in 2010. Right? He started his career in education with very humble beginnings as a laboratory demonstrator at the Faculty of Science, also in University of Malaya in 2001. Then became a tutor at the Faculty of Medicine in the same university from 2003 until 2006. And now presently he is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Medicine, SEGI University. Right? He was a postgraduate research fellow in University of Malaya from 2001 to 2003 and has participated in various conferences and has published original research articles in various fields, including in areas of cell and tissues culture, drug discovery, food technology, and molecular biology. He strongly feels that scientific research is an endeavor reserved only for those who are innovative and persistent. Right? How are you, Dr. Chai? Hope you are well today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nash, for the introduction. I'm doing well.
Did I miss anything on the introduction part? All covered?
No, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. The topic for today, we will talk about what it takes to study medicine. All right. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Chai to start his presentation. Okay, Dr. Chai, maybe you can start now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nash. I will try to screen share from my end here. Just hold on for a second. So today I'm going to talk about what it takes to study medicine. And this is actually my perception and my view after teaching medical students for approximately more than 10 years. Okay, so I will share some of the observations that I made today. So what it takes to study medicine, studying medicine to normal, common people is that, there are a lot of studying that you need to do. And that is actually partly true, but nonetheless, there are other things that you can actually participate in the medical school. So I'm going to share with you some of the pearls when it comes to studying medicine. First, you must have a strong inclination towards health-related sciences. And this is very true because medical students usually have to have a strong basis in biology. Next, you must want to do it yourself. I received many applications previously that the students or the applicants actually tell me that they actually don't want to study medicine, but their parents want them to do so. My general advice is that for applicants to enter into a medical school, the applicant themselves must want to do medicine themselves. It is their own inclination, then only they will be successful in completing the program. Next, you must qualify academically. Studying medicine in Malaysia is governed by the Malaysian Medical Council and as well as the Malaysian Qualification Agency. And they have prescribed a minimum entry requirement for applicants that want to apply into the medical school. And I'll share with you later in this particular presentation what are the qualifications that are required for any applicants to enter into a medical program. Fourth, you must prepare to work hard for it. This is true for anything, but more so for medical students. Partly because the curriculum requires you to study a lot of information within a very short time. So you must be prepared to work hard for it. Number 5, You must be able to communicate effectively. And communication skill is a skill that has to be developed over time. But if you are generally a very vocal person and a very easy to communicate person, I think this should not be a problem. Partly because in this particular profession, you need to communicate with a lot of people, including patients, family of the patients, and as well as your colleagues within a hospital setting. So to be able to communicate effectively is one of the criteria to be able to study medicine. Lastly, no, not lastly, but within slide number 6, you must be mentally prepared psychologically. There are many students that actually face a lot of challenges when it comes to studying medicine. And this is one of the advice I usually tell my students. You have to be mentally prepared for all the challenges that you see during your medical school, particularly the overwhelming content within the medical program. 7, organization is key to success. And this is true also to many programs, but more so for the medical program. Having an organized mind, particularly when it comes to studying, is very important. You have to structure yourself, pace yourself in terms of doing continuous revision and memorization of the facts is required and essential for a medical student. Number 8, to be prepared to read a lot. And I think I have mentioned it earlier. Some students actually think that, studying the notes or the slides that are provided by the lecturers is sufficient for them to pass an exam. But in actual fact, students are actually encouraged to read beyond the slides that are given to them, including textbook materials and materials that are available online. And that's so students have to be prepared to read quite a lot, okay, during their study for medicine. Number 9, remain grounded and be humble. And this is observed in some students whereby they feel being too proud to be a medical student. And that pride actually is their downfall. And I always remind our students to be always grounded and to practice humility when it comes to their undertaking as a medical student. Lastly, number 10, wherever you go, you'll be tested. And it's true for medical graduates, actually. Upon graduation or throughout the medical program itself, along the way, you'll be tested. Every module that you have undertaken, you are required to pass the particular examination every semester, and every professional exam, you have to pass them. Even after you have graduated, there are mechanisms within the system that require you to be tested as well. One of the classic examples would be the housemanship program. So upon completion of the medical program, medical graduates, if they want to practice in Malaysia, they are required to undergo the housemanship program. And during that particular housemanship program as well, in each of the disciplines that are posted in the hospital, they are required to pass a certain examination as well. So with that, I hope that I've given you some kind of overview of what to expect to become a medical student and how to study medicine. Here at SEGI University, we realizes that there are many applicants that want to study medicine, and we are here to realize your particular future career. So the medical program that SEGI University offered, it is a fully accredited program by the Malaysian Qualification Agency, and also it is recognized by the Malaysian Medical Council. So what that means is that upon graduation, you can register to practice medicine with the Malaysian Medical Council. All medical practitioner in Malaysia has to be registered with the MMC. Our program is also recognized internationally. Of some of the bodies that recognize our program are the National Medical Council of India, the Sri Lankan Medical Council, the Maldives Medical Dental Council, Pakistan Medical Commission, and Thailand Medical Council. Our medical program is also recognized and listed in the World Federation of Medical Education under the final list of medical schools. Our faculty has strong research collaboration and as well as educational collaboration with many international partners. Of notable collaboration is the Duke University from the United States. We are also having strong collaboration with the New Tokyo Medical College from Korea, and as well as the Hainan Medical University from China. So this is an aerial view of our campus in Kota Damansara. Here, our medical students will undergo their first and second year medical studies, particularly on the preclinical sciences. And this is an aerial view of the hospital that our clinical students will undertake their clinical studies, particularly in year 3, 4, 5. And this particular hospital is located in Cebu, Sarawak. It's a referral hospital in Cebu, Sarawak. What it means is that many diseases or many patients with different types of diseases are referred to this particular hospital. And having this particular hospital as an exclusive teaching hospital for SEGI University, our students actually have direct access to these patients. And ultimately, this would lead to a better, what they call this, learning environment for our students. So an overview of the medical program, it is a 5 years medical program. The first 2 years is preclinical sciences. It will be undertaken in Kota Damansara here. And the remaining 3 clinical years are carried out in the Cebu Sarawak Hospital. And on the left-hand side, we have a table. And this table describes the modules that our students need to undertake during the 5-year medical program. So I mentioned earlier at the beginning about being able to fulfill the requirements to enter into the medical program. These are some of the requirements that have been set by the Malaysian Medical Council as well as MQA. So predominantly, students to enter into a medical degree program, they have to have entry requirements or academic achievement from pre-university. And the medical program here follows this guideline very strictly. So of notable interest, we actually accept students from STPM and as well as with A levels. And commonly, they require to have a minimum of triple Bs coming from the subjects biology, chemistry, physics, or mathematics. It can be in a combination of triple B or ABC or double AC, or the total CGPA of 3.0 out of a CGPA of 4.0. I understand in the audience today, some of them are also just completed their SPM. So for SPM graduates coming from Form 5, you may consider to join our Foundation in Science program. Students who complete the Foundation in Science program within a year at our institute, having a CGPA of 3.0, coming from the 3 major science subjects, biology, chemistry, physics or mathematics, and a minimum entry qualification of 5 Bs in SPM level, biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics or additional mathematics, and another subject, they can apply entry into the medical program. Okay, so this particular route is very favorable to many of our local students. So a little bit overview of our medical program. It's not all studying alone. In the medical school, we have 2 medical societies, primarily the Medical Society of SEGI University, which is run at the Kota Damansara campus. And we also have the SEGI University Medical Society, or SUMS, in Cebu, Sarawak. So students that participate in this particular 2 societies, they are also involved in many of these extracurricular activities that enhance their learning experience in SEGI University itself. So it's not all study alone. There's some play in it as well. In the medical school, one of the major methodology of teaching medical students, it's problem-based learning. And this teaching pedagogy is common within medical schools. What it entails is that students are separated into a very small group, usually approximately 8 to 12 students, and it's facilitated by a facilitator. And the students is usually presented with a medical scenario where they will derive content of learning interests, particularly related to that particular scenario. So this is a problem approach when it comes to delivering medical education. So at SEGI University, we spend a lot of investment into ensuring the quality of our education that we provide to our students. So at SEGI University, we actually purchase a lot of equipment, particularly, for example, on the upper left-hand side here, we have mannequins for students to practice on. We also have a lot of models and as well as fascinating models for students to learn the art of anatomy. In the medical school located at Kota Damansara here, we also have invested a lot into setting up the anatomy dissection hall. Here at the anatomy dissection hall, students will learn anatomy from cadaveric material. So what is this cadaveric material? They are actually dead bodies. You know, students are actually learning by touch and feel on some of these biological specimens that will enhance their learning here at SEGI University. And not many institutions, particularly private medical institutions, actually provide this facility. So our program is quite interesting as well. In year four, at the end of year four, there is a particular module called elective posting. During this elective posting, students are allowed to be placed for a period of 6 weeks at any institution of their choice. So during this period, usually students apply to specific institution where they would like to gain working experience in a hospital setting or clinical settings. So traditionally, students from international students, they usually apply to institution from their own originating country. And we actually have local students who actually participated in this particular program, going to Nigeria, going to Australia, even in India as well. And they gain a lot of experience by going through this elective posting. I'd like to talk a little bit about on the population set of our medical program. We have been running our program for more than 10 years now. And during this 10-year periods, we have actually received, trained, and actually produced doctors coming from a variety of nationality. I did a count earlier, and we actually receive and produce students all to up to 25 countries. So next, during this period of COVID-19 pandemic, 1 year ago, when the COVID-19 pandemic burst out into our population, and the impending MCO lockdown and such, our institution was the one of the first institution that embarked on e-learning during that particular period. And the institution actually has invested a lot of money to establish this e-infrastructure to assist the learning of our students. And most notably, we leverage on the Microsoft Teams, where we actually conduct live lectures online. We also have what they call this learning management system, the Blackboard system, where we place most of our teaching material there for our students to access. We also use the Blackboard system to conduct tests and examinations as well. On the upper left, our program also has a bundle option for lectorial content. Lectorial is an online platform that produces learning materials for students who intend to take the USMLE examination. So for students who intend to continue their learning or their studies or to pursue their career in the United States, they are required to take this particular examination, the USMLE examination. So when we bundle the content from Lecturio to our students, we basically train our students to be USLE ready upon graduation. So learning medicine or studying medicine is not all studying the books only. Throughout the 5-year program, we impart some of these lifelong skills into our students. And throughout this particular 5-year period, students generally build a very appreciative understanding and more appreciation towards the medical profession itself. So with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you for your attention. So Nash, that's it from me.
All right. Before we end our session, Dr. Chai, I have a few questions to ask. What are the main difference between MBBS program, which is a medical program, and a BBMS program, biomedical program? So what are the main difference between these two?
Okay, there are two totally different programs. The medical program actually produces medical doctors. It's a 5-year program, whereas the biomedical science program, it is a 3-year program, and they produce a biomedical science graduate. Biomedical science graduates are more diverse. They can actually, in terms of career, they can participate mainly in terms of diagnostic companies or working in a lab, or they can actually be a salesperson for certain type of biomedical related materials or products. So there are two different programs, but nevertheless, some of the basic medical sciences are the same. So, for example, the medical program for the first 2 years, and as well as the biomedical science first 2 years, their curriculum are a little bit quite similar. But nevertheless, for the biomedical science students, on their third year, they will be specialized towards biomedical science. So they will receive training to work in hospitals and labs and even research settings.
Okay, thank you. Right, for the next question, what is SEGI MBBS program main strength? Is it our clinical hospital?
Okay. In fact, our medical program, apart from other medical programs offered by other institutions in Malaysia, we actually have a very good teaching hospital, which is our SEGI hospital, which we use exclusively for our students. So what it means that our students, when it comes to clinical learning, they do not need to compete with medical students from other institutions when they access to these public hospitals. So our students are actually having good access and into the hospital, and they learn a little bit better compared to other institution students.
So meaning to say that they have the chance to have more hands-on
Yes,
experience there, right?
Hands-on and clinical exposure.
Okay. All right. The last question before we end our session. Why does medical program require the students to study until 5 years? Why is it too long compared to other courses?
Okay, I don't really have an answer for that. But traditionally, medical program, it is a 5 year program. Some institution, foreign institution, offer medical program as a 6-year medical program. So usually they entails a first year of foundation. So very similar to what our students are doing here. They can take foundation in science and proceed with the 5-year medical program. Okay, there are even some institutions that offer a 4-year medical program. So these programs, they receive students from graduate degrees. So usually this type of medical program receives students who are already having the first degree. So students who already have completed their first degree program of 3 or 4 years, then they want to pursue a medical program, then they can take a 4-year medical program.
You mean the transfer from a different field into a medical courses, right? Into a medical program.
Correct. Those who have a medical degree, whether from social sciences or pure science, they can apply for those 4-year program. But the medical program that we offer here at SEGI, it is a 5-year medical program.
Okay. All right. I think we have come to the end of our session today. We have a really fruitful explanation and in-depth knowledge about SEGI MBBS program. I would like to thank you, Dr. Chai, for your time. And before we end our session, I would like to maybe give a bit information about the scholarships that we have and what are the happenings that we have in SEGI at the moment. So we are currently offering a 100% foundation program scholarship to any students who are keen to pursue their degree program with us. And then other than that, due to the pandemic, SEGI University is offering a pandemic assistance scholarship scheme. In short, we call it PASS, P-A-S-S. PASS will offer a 20% scholarship to students that join directly into our diploma or degree program, right? On top of that, we are also offering an MBA scholarship for students that join our diploma and degree program this year. So meaning to say, upon completion of your degree later on, you can get a fully online MBA full scholarship for you lah. Right? Okay, so for the next intake will be in May and June. For May intake, you actually can join with your forecast results or through your trial exams. And then I think that's all for the time we have for you today. I hope if you guys have any more questions, you can chat with our counselors or contact us directly or drop by to our campus directly. All right, Dr. Chai, again, I would like to thank you for your time. Bye-bye. Have a good day. All right.
Thank you, Nash. Bye.